welcome everybody. We are so glad that you could join us today for this business meeting. This is our mid-year. We're required to have 3 a year. We had one in August at our annual picnic, and then we have this one, and then we'll have our one toward the end of the year. So what I would like to do first is just to reintroduce the board. For those of you who aren't familiar with all of us, and considering we haven't really seen everybody face to face at all this year, I just want to remind you. I'm Lynn Wozniak. I'm on here as the RRHIMA board. That's me on the pictures. And Mary Pasaic is our president-elect. She's not with us today. She's out on medical leave. Nicole Moorhorst is our past president. Chelsea Zeifel is our director of bylaws. Darlene McKendrick is our director of communications. Amanda Rice is our second-year director of education, but she's not with us today. She got triple booked for meetings at this time. Who does that to someone at lunch, really? Paula Santiago is our first-year education director. Steve Ortelaza is our finance director, and Penny Hankins is our student rep from MCC right now. So most everybody's on. You should be able to find them with their pictures. Hopefully they all have their cameras turned on, because they will be all talking in a minute. The first thing I wanted to talk about was our membership. We are doing very well on membership this year. We had a goal of getting up to 100 members. We are at 90 or so on our mailing list. These are our dues paying and emeritus members. We are still, we have a couple different lists and we're still reconciling them, but we're pretty sure we have 90 members on our active email list. There's approximately 50 students and recent grads in the database, which is pretty cool because we actually have about 8 students on our call with us, which is nice. And it's nice to have their involvement. We are going to be implementing an online application / membership renewal form starting with our next year. We've been doing it on paper, and which means that someone then has to re-enter it into our database. And that tends to make errors and things like emails and names and stuff. So going forward, it'll be much better because we'll have an online form that you can put all the information in. It'll go right into the database. You'll be able to edit it. You'll be able to update your own information going forward. And I'm hoping that that will help us communicate better with everybody. We are going to be having a volunteer call or email people who did not renew this year to find out why. We did this in the summer to reach some of our more recent grads who had never joined, and we will be continuing that effort going forward with other members who have not renewed. So if you know anybody who's a professional colleague who isn't a part of RRHIMA, please ask them to join. Please encourage them to to join with us. If we don't hear from them, hopefully we will be able to reach them by phone or email. I'm going to turn this over now to Steve, our finance director, to just briefly tell us about our current financial status. Steve?
Hello, everybody. So we started the year last year, it's July 2nd, with around $7,669. That's total. That's including the general funds and the scholarship status awards. The year was really successful, I would say. Probably the key areas I would highlight would be membership dues. Like Lynn said, we have currently around 90 members, bringing around $1,117, probably maybe give or take. And then also the big thing for us was our webinars. Our webinars was really huge. We did quite a bit. We made around $2,512 altogether. As of right now, we have a ending balance of $10,832.
Okay, if you're not speaking, can you put yourself on mute, please? I can hear a phone conversation somewhere. Okay.
As talking, we can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Ooh. Hello, can you hear me now? I feel like the guy from, I don't know what happened.
Lynn, We can hear you.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I
Okay.
think it looks like Patty's having trouble connecting, so it might be her background we're hearing.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so the finances, as Steve said, we're doing quite well. The webinars have done well. And of course, with our membership up, our dues are doing well as well. And our expenses really are minimal this year because it's mostly technology and some speaker gifts and a few things like that. So we are quite pleased with what we're doing, and we're trying to keep the price of all of our education down low because of the fact that we are doing well. I have a budget slide at the very end, which I'll share if we, when we get there. Okay, communications. Darlene McKendrick, our Director of Communications. Can you give us an update?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, everyone. The first thing I wanted to talk about was our NYHIMA perspectives. And we continue, we're a very active local, so we like to do articles every quarter and submit them to NYHIMA, so that way other locals across the state can see what we're doing. So in September, we had Diane Gray, and just what recently came out in January, we had 4 of our recent grads. And in the spring, we're planning on interviewing Sally Deming, and Ann Ortolaza has been our interviewer, and she really enjoys doing that. She does a great job, so that process is working really well. Facebook, we're reaching about 50 members on our posts. I'm planning to boost that up a little bit more, get a little more active. And our website, I wanted to talk a minute about our website. If you log into, we have a couple things on our website. We have the membership applications. We have a calendar of events out there. And with that calendar, if you're looking at it on your phone, it might have a difficult time seeing the calendar. And it helps if you just turn your phone sideways, then you can view the entire calendar. Under the members only section, when you click on members only and you go to log in, you'll enter your email address. And then if you can't remember your password, you can reset your password. And I just wanted to mention that once you do that, you're going to get a link that comes from, it's actually directly from Weebly. And it's called a no reply at, I forget what it is,
editmysite.com.
Edit my site. And I just had to do that a little while ago, and it ended up going into my junk mail. So make sure you check your junk mail for that. And if you have any issues with that, please drop us an email, let us know, and we can help you through that. I know there's a few things that we're going to be working on updating on the website, and Ed Patrick and Deb Simons help us with that. And we also have Petty Hankins, who's going to join them and helping us. So more to come on that. And as far as the Gmail goes, I know when we send out our email blast, I just want everyone to know that if you have a different email address or you're not getting emails from us, please send a general email to the RRHIMA1@gmail. Let us know what's going on, or if you have a change of address, because if you don't tell us, then we don't know.
Okay. Education report. Okay, I'll start with this one. The week of webinars. In the summer, we had a week of webinars. It was in lieu of our 2020 annual meeting. We offered 5 CEU, and we had 59 registrants for this, and our attendance averaged between 19 and 29 people, depending on the day and the topic. And we got really nice evaluations back, well received, topics felt timely, and we used the NYHIMA's GoToMeeting platform, and we had issues with some of the recordings and the audio, and it's what made us decide to go with Zoom in the future, and it has worked out well. So that was our first thing that we did this year. Okay, Paula.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about COVID webinar series. So a bunch of you attended that COVID webinar series in over the fall. There was actually 64 of you that registered for that series. Our attendance actually ranged between 22 and 56 on any given webinar. It was good for 6.5 CEUs, and we did that at $30 a member and $50 for non-members. All of the speakers, from the feedback that we received, was well received, and They actually thought the information was helpful. We wanted to also let you know that the COVID webinars were recorded, and the recordings will only be available for you to view until February 15th, because we need to make space for the spring education sessions that I will be sharing with you now. So what's on our plan for the spring? We are going to do an, excuse me, an auditing webinar series, kicking it off with myself doing Auditing 101 on February 24th. Then we'll follow that up with what, when, and where of Medicare risk adjusted auditing on March 10th. Followed by, we've got some auditors in the Office of the Medicaid Inspector General coming to talk to us on March 25th regarding overview of Medicaid auditing process and protocols. And then we'll finish that series off on April 7th with PDPM, Where Are We Now? With Karen Donovan. And again, we're going to keep it at a very low dollar amount of $30 a member for the entire series, $50 for non-members.
Okay. We'll be sending that out, the first notice for that next week. You'll be able to start registering for those next week. Okay, annual meeting. Currently, we have a date scheduled for May 6th at the Eagle Vale Golf Club if we do an in-person meeting. If not, we'll do it via Zoom. Our theme is just generally going to be, you know, the new hot topics of HIM. And we are looking for volunteers to be on our planning team to get this going and to, you know, make contact the vendors and just kick this off. And hopefully we'll be able to do it in person. If not, we'll have plan B for backup. So if you're interested in helping us on that, please contact us. We'd love to have some people who aren't on the board to help us with that. Okay, special interest groups. We have 3 of them that are active right now. The first one is the coders ones. We met in October. They covered the new E&M codes and the coding guidelines. We had 16 people attending on that. The next meeting is January 26th, next Tuesday, and the topic is a CPT update for that. And we've been sending out notices. We'll send out another one tomorrow so you can register for that. Those are free, and we offer CEU for members. The long-term care, I'll let Paula talk about long-term care.
Long-term care special interest group is head up by Mary Walters, and we meet on the second Tuesday of every month from 2 to 4. Currently, we're meeting via Zoom. We hope at some point when COVID is over, we'll be back to in-person. The meeting link is on the events calendar on the RRHIMA website. And we just ask that if you are a long-term, somebody working in the long-term care arena, whether it's in a facility or maybe in a consulting basis, that is the most useful of the attendees of that group. But again, anybody is able to attend if there's a student that would like to attend as well.
Okay, Nicole, could you tell us about the newcomers special interest group?
Absolutely. With all of the help from Steve and Penny, which I'm very grateful for, we were able to kick this group off. With the MCC program kind of coming to an end, we felt this was a really vital time. We've been talking about doing something like this, and with finding out the MCC program is officially ending, we really wanted to get this up and running. We met for the first time in December. We had a lot of students, a couple of recent grads on the call. We were able to just kind of get acquainted with each other, discuss what we felt the SIG should be, what they felt they needed from it. We're gonna try to meet monthly, usually later at night, just so everyone has a chance to be done with work and all of that. Our next meeting is January 28th from 7 to 8 p.m. and that is a Thursday. And we're gonna be talking about how to prep for the RHIT exam, how to register, how to prep. I know the MCC classes and Alfred, I believe, are back on the 25th. So the students will be back. Those students that are graduating are gonna be in full-blown RHIT mode. So we're gonna kind of talk about that and put some of those nerves and stuff at ease and reassure them and go over how to start the next phase of what they're going into. So like Lynn said, look out for an email tomorrow with the links to these and come join us from 7 to 8. If you have any insight on taking the RHIT and want to come join, or if you're a student and didn't know we were going to meet then, January 28th from 7 to 8 p.m.
Okay, and we're also on the events calendar. If you just click on the date, you'll see a Zoom link for that meeting. Okay, Penny, student rep report.
Hi, everyone. As Nicole stated, the Monroe Community College Health Information Management Program is going to be ending in the spring of 2022, unfortunately. After my class graduates this spring, there'll be one more left. This is sad news. A sophomore class has forged ahead online during the pandemic. We've been online since March of 2020, and because we were able to meet in personally, you know, in like in physical instead of virtual world, we have a very strong connection. We are eager to graduate, doing well academically. Looking forward to taking the RRHIT exam and starting our careers. The program's HIT Club, which I'm a vice president for, is going strong. We set an all-time record with our recent hat and mitten drive. And again, this was all done virtually. We got 267 hats and mittens for the Eastern Service Workers Association. And again, this year, we will continue the tradition of holding a Be the Match bone marrow drive this February. And over the past month, we've been extensively planning how to advertise this virtually so we can continue the tradition that's been going on now 11 years. Thank you.
Thank you. We're really excited to having Penny on our group. She has a lot of experience with websites as well. So she's going to be working on ours. Okay, the next and the biggest thing we need to go through is our proposed bylaw changes. Chelsea, you're our bylaws director. Please take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. So today we're going to be voting on the proposed bylaw changes. You should have all received them via email on December 20th. So we're going to want to consider making these changes to be in sync and compliance with both RRHIMA and NYHIMA bylaws. So our first proposed change is from section 3.1, types of members. Currently, it states an active member in good standing is a member of the association who holds a valid American Health Information Management Association, NYHIMA credential, and who remains current on dues and payments for RRHIMA, NYHIMA, and RRHIMA. So what we wanted to do is remove, let's see, so it's going to be an active member in good standing is a member of the association. We would like to remove who holds a valid NYHIMA credential, and then who remains current on dues and payments for, we wanted to add American Health Information Management Association, just to be consistent with the NYHIMA. Let's see. So we're basically just doing this just because we want to correspond with NYHIMA and NYHIMA and NYHIMA bylaws. And this will allow non-credential individuals to be active members of their association. Did you guys have any questions on this one before we go to the next one?
We'll do questions after we present the changes. Okay.
Okay.
Make a motion. Okay, here's the second one.
So the next one is going to be from section 4.3, eligibility. As of right now, it says only active members in good standing shall be eligible to serve as a member on the board of directors. Nominees for president-elect must have prior service as a board officer or chair of standing committee. So we just wanted to add to this and hold a valid NYHIMA approved certification or credential, which if elected must be maintained throughout his or term of office. And this is also just to correspond with the NYHIMA and NYHIMA bylaws, and it's also going to add clarity to specific qualification requirements for the past president-elect and past president. And also with the removal of the credential required, a non-credential person is also can be an active member, and an active member in good standing is going to be eligible to be a member of the board of directors.
You'll be able to be a director, but not the president if you're not credentialed. Okay. Then we had an amendment.
All right. So after sending everything out, we received a request for an amendment by Donna Rugg. Donna, are you on with us today?
I don't think she was. She had a meeting. She wasn't sure she was going to be able to make it.
Okay. So it looks like she just suggested for section 5.1 nomination. Nomination shall sought by past president. Nominees shall be active members in good standing. So we basically just wanted to add, so nomination shall be sought by the past president. Nominees for director and president-elect positions shall be active members in good standing. In addition, nominees for president-elect must have prior service as a board officer or chair of standing committee and hold a valid NYHIMA certificate credential, which, if elected, must be maintained throughout his or her term of office. And this is just to clarify specifically which nominees are being sought.
Okay. And also
Yeah,
to clarify about the president needing to be credentialed, but the director's not.
Right. Okay. Yeah. A little confusing. So, Lynn, do you have anything to add before we?
No.
discuss?
Just, we have to vote on this amendment before we vote on the whole thing. We have to vote that that this amendment be added to our proposed changes, the ones that we published, the ones that you received in the email. So we're going to need a motion from the members to add this to our proposed changes. So I need.
so motion.
Okay. And thank you. I need a second on it.
Second.
Okay. Now we can.
Can you guys tell me,
discussion that-
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you, when you say your motion, and I just need a name so I can write it for the minutes. I know Brenda Embry was the motion. I don't know who seconded.
Diane, right?
Diane.
Gray.
Diane Gray.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we can entertain discussion on this particular amendment that Donna Rugg has suggested that we add for clarity and to make sure we knew who we were nominating and what the requirements were. Is there any discussion? Okay.
I talked to Donna about this a little bit, Lynn, and it makes sense.
Okay.
So I like it.
Okay, so hearing no discussion, we're going to vote, and we're going to do this by poll. Now, I checked the registration list, and everybody who registered was an active member in good standing of RRHIMA, except none of the students can vote. No students voting, none. You can't do that, not until you're a member. So we're going to put up the poll. I'll launch it here. So all members in good standing, that should be most of you, can now respond to the poll. And we're recording this, and also it'll be on permanent record. Okay, it looks like we have 11. Oh, do I get to vote? I don't get to vote. Okay. All right. Has everybody voted? It looks like it was unanimous. Wonderful. So this will be added to our proposed amendment, which we can now, okay, stop sharing results. How do I get out of this? Share results. Okay, so now we can vote on the whole package, all three of these proposed changes. We have to have a separate vote on this. So I need a motion again to accept the proposed changes with the amendment. Can I have a motion on that, please? Anybody? Nobody wants to
Motion.
Motion.
Okay, please identify so Darlene can get that in the minutes.
Diane, was that you?
Diane Gray making motion.
Okay, and a second, please.
Brenda Embry.
Okay, Brenda. Okay, again, any discussion on the other ones? Okay, this non-credentialed member to be on the board of directors was something that's come down from NYHIMA through NYHIMA, and we needed to add it to ours to be consistent. It's to open up for more people to be eligible to be on the board, but they can only take director positions. They can't run for president. Okay. Is there any other questions or discussion?
Lynn, just curious, did the the amendment, is that consistent with NYHIMA and AHIMA as well, or was that a local decision?
The amendment, well, it's consistent. The piece in it that's not, you won't find in AHIMA or NYHIMA is the one where we say that the president must have prior service as a board officer or a chair of a standing committee. That's the only piece that wasn't in it, but it's been in our bylaws forever. And when we sent these up to NYHIMA, you know, because it was already in our bylaws, we were just clarifying it in another section. They didn't have any trouble with it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, then. So we put this to a vote. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the one. Are you in favor of adding the proposed amendment? Okay, it's the next one. How do I get to the next question? I had 3 polls.
There you are. You've got it up.
Okay, are you in favor of adding? No, it's still adding it to the proposed. That's the first one. And polling. I never even thought I'd have trouble getting to the next question.
Sorry, Lynn, I was a little confused. I thought you wanted us to vote on the first 2 changes first, then the amendment, and then all 3.
No, we had, oh, here it is. Okay. No, we had to vote on the amendment. Now we are voting on the amendment, on the proposed changes as amended. Okay. Is it launching?
Yeah, it launched.
Okay. Are you in favor of the proposed as amended? Okay. All right. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to vote? Okay, so we will end. So our proposed amendments have passed, and so our bylaws will be updated, and that will be wonderful because we need to get our nomination applications out for members. So let's see here. Oh no, where have I gone? Okay, so nominations. Our nominations chair is Nicole. Whoops, back. Hold on. I had to have 2 versions of this slide in case they didn't pass. Hold on. There. Okay. Nicole.
All right, guys. Well,
Can't hear you, Nicole.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as Lynn just alluded to,
I can't hear you. Can anybody hear her?
Yes.
Okay, I think it's just Lynn.
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay. I'm going to talk and
why can't I hear her?
Send Lynn an email quickly, guys. So bear with me. But as she just alluded to, now our biggest push is going, one of our biggest pushes is going to be nominations. With what you guys just voted on, as we kind of went over already, no one but the president will have to be credentialed. Just to kind of further clarify, you will still need to be a member in good standing all the way up, but you will not need to be certified. So you will have to be a member of RRHIMA, NYHIMA, and AHIMA, but only the president or president track will have to hold an AHIMA credential. So for this coming up year, what you're gonna see for our ballot is we have the president-elect position open, and that is a 3-year track because you will be president-elect, kind of learning the reins. You'll be president, and then you'll be past president. We're looking for a director of bylaws, and that is a 1-year term. We'll be looking for a director of communications, which is also a 1-year term. And then we're going to be looking for our first-year education director, and that is a 2-year term because you come in as the new education director first year, and then you spend your 2nd year as an education director as well. There's so many benefits to being on the board, guys, where there's networking, free RRHIMA membership, free CEUs. I mean, there's a whole list of them that's going to be coming out on this ballot, so keep a lookout. Again, next week we'll be sending this out. And I just, again, just a little personal plug. If you're feeling like you don't want to jump into this, or you're scared to jump into this, or you've never done anything like this before, don't be. There's so many different people around to support you from so many different perspectives. I've been on the board for 5 years now, and I started as a student rep, went to education director, and now I'm past president. Learned as I went, learned a lot, grew a lot, and there's always someone there that knows what you don't know or is willing to point you in the direction of someone who knows what you don't know. So this isn't a scary thing. So if that's what's holding you back, don't let it. Please come help us out. Come play with us. We have a lot of fun while we get stuff done. And we really just like to pay it forward to our members. The deadline for submitting this completed nomination form is March 1st, 2021. So please keep that in mind. Whether you're nominating yourself or someone else, the deadline is March 1st. If you have further questions, or like I said, you're a little apprehensive, reach out to any one of us on the board. I'm pretty sure we've all held multiple positions, whether it be from student rep up to Lynn, who came in and moved from out of Rochester to Rochester. We kind of run the full gamut. So there's someone that can kind of speak to you personally, I bet, as to your situation and what you're feeling, or any angst that you're feeling, or whatever your experience background is. So just reach out if you are interested in helping out, or look out for that nomination email next week. And like I said, whether you're nominating yourself or someone else, just get it to us by March 1st so we can kind of go from there.
Okay. And it is an online form this year, so it'll be easier to fill out and submit. Okay.
And I wanted to clarify for those interested, the education directors, there are 2 of them, and they run overlapping terms.
Mhm.
So if you were to be interested in being a director of education, you would join the senior director, if you would. We don't necessarily clarify titles like that, but basically you're coming in, joining a seasoned person in that role. And then when they rotate off, you'll be the seasoned person and get a new helper, a new co-director.
Yes, you're
So
never
you're not alone in that. So the director of education is the one, students, I guess I'm speaking to specifically, who arrange all these nice seminars and learning opportunities for us.
Right.
And you're not alone. You don't have to come up with all of that agenda by yourself. The board is just full of ideas and contacts. You're joining a true group of movers and shakers, and they have all kinds of ideas and contacts for you to arrange for these educational sessions.
Okay.
It's a pretty rewarding position.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that we do have a budget. I'm not going to go over it now. We're going to be posting these slides on the website, so you'll be able to see it then. But let me tell you, it's balanced. Our ins and our outs come out pretty close to each other, with a little more on the inside than the outside. Our goal is not to tap into our reserve right now, the 7,000 that we started with, because we have lots of things happening in 2022 that we have to be prepared for, because we are going to be hosting the state meeting. So this is there, and if you have questions, just let me know, and it'll be in that slide deck, and you can look at it when we post it. Just very quickly, because I know we're running into Meg's time. We are also working on our strategic plan. It's under development. I would like to get more members involved. We had a meeting as a board, but we really do, with COVID, it was hard to get everybody, but we want to have the opportunity for members to also participate in this endeavor. So I'd like to get a group of volunteers together to discuss our mission, our vision, our values. And right now we're planning a plan that's built around 4 pillars: education, volunteering, recruiting, and networking. And so we're also going to be sending out a survey on this as well. So just to be aware, and if you are interested, please let us know. So our help that we need a new awards scholarship work group. We have plenty of money, plenty of money sitting in our awards, but we haven't been able to give it away. So we need someone to work on that for what can we do to get people to apply. And we need help with nominations and elections. We need people on the annual meeting planning, and we're looking for SIG facilitators and presenters, and of course, nominees for the board. So thank you. We will post these. You can look at them again later if you want. And if you have questions, please contact us through the RRHIMA email. Thank you. So now, Meg, we're sorry we ran into your time. We really tried to keep this.
Oh, that's quite all right.
So we're going to let you, I got to get out of sharing, right? I got to stop sharing so you can share.
Okay. There we
All right.
go.
This is
All
Meg
right.
DeVoe. She is our NYHIMA state president. She lives in the Albany area. She works for True Code. If anybody is familiar with that product, it's a wonderful product.
Well,
But
thank you, Lynn.
she's now our current president. So take it away.
All right, thanks so much. And thanks for inviting me today. Rochester is such an active association, and it's really nice to see the interaction with the students and such. So you guys should be really proud of yourselves. You do an awesome job. So thank you for inviting me here today. Just wanted to go through and talk a little bit about what's been going on with NYHIMA this year. First, you know, we have gone through and identified our strategic plan through 2022. And our focus for this year is technology, which kind of, you know, coincided with the happenings in the world right now, where we all had to switch from being in person to having a completely online virtual life. So with the 2021 focus, we're trying really to embrace those platforms and provide education in a way that we can all safely, you know, get our CEUs and also be able to see each other. It's so nice to be able to see people's faces without worrying about what's going on today. Moving on. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so what are our overall goals at NYHIMA? What's our motivation? Our motivation is that we will always position NYHIMA as the professional leader in New York State. And a leader in the nation. Now, we've been working, NYHIMA has been working with our national advocacy director from NYHIMA to kind of step up our role with advocacy issues, and I'll show you some of those in a little bit later. And then also we want to show the world, you know, our value, what we bring to the table. And especially during COVID, you know, we've had to pivot and change our roles just like everybody else has. And it's become even more important to capture all of that data accurately. So we began to build on the successes of the previous strategic plan. And then in 2022, we're going to begin focusing on New York State rules and regulations and advocacy issues. So this will be the final year in our step progression plan. And we have a great advocacy director this year, and Tracy from downstate. And she's been really active in getting some of the initiatives that are currently in the legislative bodies, you know, getting those to us so that we can review them and share with you all the stuff that's available for us to vote on that could have an impact on our daily lives. So we do have some ongoing operational goals that we've been working towards. So we want to, of course, show and demonstrate the value of becoming a NYHIMA dues paying member. So we're working on updating our website. We're working on cleaning up our databases, you know, and also providing tools for our members. We're also really striving to provide that top-notch educational opportunity to the member. We have had some great partnerships this year with local organizations. If you guys wanted to do a co-presentation between our RRHIMA and NYHIMA, you know, we've done that. We did that with AdHIMA this year, and it was really successful. We had an advanced PCS workshop with a nationally known PCS speaker who was also a heck of a lot of fun. So it made a somewhat dry topic a little bit more fun. So we also want to develop our leaders. As a local leader, I always found the NYHIMA leadership meetings very inspirational. You know, sometimes, you know, you get a little worn out and you need a little puff, and, you know, that really does it for you. So promoting leaders and helping people develop those leadership qualities that will make them successful in their careers. So that is another goal. Of course, with our budgeting and financial management, we have Deb Simons, who is our finance director, and she does a great job working with our central office to make sure that we make some hard decisions, you know, in the face of a changing landscape, which we were able to do successfully. And I'll show you a little bit later on a section on our finances. And then also we want to advocate for and promote our profession. There is a campaign from NYHIMA called the PEC campaign. And it does provide you with talking points about our profession. And it's really meant to make the language and the dialogue about what we do consistent and something that people can digest easily. And, you know, it would really demonstrate the value of all of the different levels of what an HIM professional does. Now, working with the CLAs, of course, this year, we have been able to, you know, share some of our platforms like GoToMeeting. Lynn, I know you said you tried using the GoToMeeting and it didn't work out so well. So that's good information that I'll go ahead and take back to the central office. Now, we also have been trying to build the NYHIMA brand a little bit and, you know, get in on those platforms, get out there on the platforms where people are looking at things. You know, we have been sending out multiple emails. We've also been posting on social media. So trying to get the message out there, not just about what NYHIMA is doing, but, you know, if you want to put the focus on something that you're doing or share an initiative with us, you know, please feel free to reach out to the central office and we'll get that out on social media. We also try to keep our members informed throughout the changing landscape of the regulatory environment of all of the different regulations that have changed and all of the waivers that have come out, and, you know, how our lives have been turned a little bit upside down because the norms have not been normal this year. So we try to get any really useful information out there to you pretty quickly. Now, for our conference this year, we are going to be in Tarrytown. It's scheduled from June 6th through 8th. And by February, I know you probably just got a NYHIMA survey. We have to make a decision by February to decide whether or not we're going to go in person, be hybrid, or be completely virtual. And the reason we have, you know, that deadline is, you know, obviously because of the contracts with the venues. So we have done that membership survey to see what people are comfortable with, you know, and then we're going to take that and go ahead and make that decision with the conference planning committee by February. So you should be hearing something about that. Now, our conference for last year, we, you know, wound up having to pivot so many times with everything that was going on, as you guys did too. And ultimately what we decided to do was to try to give you as many CEUs as we could, the ones that you would have gotten had you attended the conference. So our education committee has been working very diligently to provide CEUs and from varying, you know, domains. so that it's not all coding, not all, you know, long-term care or any particular topic. We wanted to get it out there for you all. Now, we do have some committees, so I wanted to share with you some of the committees that the CLAs do participate with. So our membership committee, we also have a nominating committee. You should have seen the ballot go out, and voting for our next board. I think it wraps up on the 26th. So that ballot is out there. So if you are eligible to vote, please make sure you do. We also have our education committee where we welcome all ideas. And, you know, it's great to have those contacts. I heard you discussing yours, and, you know, contacts are everything. If you see a great speaker, grab their card and, you know, reach out to them, and don't be afraid of, you know, reaching out. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So it's, you know, there's nothing wrong with asking someone to be a speaker. And then we also have our advocacy committee and our awards committee. So these are committees that are available for participation with the CLAs. Now, moving on to our finances, I wanted to pull together our last board meetings finances. So this was all of our finances through November 30th. We have our board meeting in January, actually this Sunday. So our expenses year to date have been $51,918. And our income is $12,780. And this is a big improvement over last year. And, you know, there have been some blessings in disguise with, you know, the COVID situation. While we weren't able to have the conference, which is generally, you know, NYHIMA's biggest biggest source of income, we also didn't spend anything. You know, we didn't really spend a lot. Nobody went to Washington, you know, we really haven't gone anywhere in a very long time like everybody else. So hopefully that things will change fairly quickly with the vaccine. So we do have our Merrill Lynch account, which as of 11/30 was at $177,704. So overall, we're okay. We're doing good. And we did make some changes this year to kind of cut as much out of the budget as we could. So it wound up balancing very well. So that has been a nice outcome. So talking a little bit about education, I know I explained a little bit earlier about how we have gone completely virtual, but we also, I wanted to spotlight some of the things that we have coming up. We have gotten a lot of requests for some of the new legislation that's coming through, like the information blocking and, you know, security with all of the security breaches and all the scary things that are happening out there related to IT and healthcare. So we do have a panel discussion coming up with a nationally known firm, and they're going to have, you know, some tips for us on spotting health IT problems early. And then we also were lucky enough to get Stacy Buck, who was a presenter at the NYHIMA convention this year, which if you get the chance to go, that was a really interesting experience going virtually. It was kind of cool. So she was a great speaker that we were able to get to present for NYHIMA as well. So we also had an end of the year flash sale. So I think it was like $59 for 5 webinars or something like that. And that was, again, we listened to the feedback that we were getting from our members in that, you know, we needed to kind of take down the price a little bit and make CEUs affordable. So we really wanted to take that to heart, and we're trying to get those CEUs in your hands. And of course, if you haven't heard, with NYHIMA this year, and I think it expired on the 31st of December, we will no longer be getting the self-reviews. So the NYHIMA self-reviews each for the 2-year cycle, they were each 5 CEUs. So they are no longer. So that's 10 additional CEUs that we're going to have to get that would, you know, be taken care of by those self-reviews. And if you took the self-review, you got the CEUs before then, but they were taking them off as of December 31st. Now we have our social media campaign, and like I said, I'm not going to read the numbers here because, you know, it's, well, you probably poke your eyeballs out, but we're trying to get out there. We're trying to reach young professionals coming in and to, you know, move into life today and get interaction between our members, and hopefully reach out to grab new members, because we have a huge number of AHIMA members that are not members of NYHIMA. So for our communication schedules, there was one thing I wanted to make you all aware of in case you haven't heard just yet. We do have our social media, our communication director who does a review and approves the communication schedule monthly. We also do monitor Engage, so that if a student or somebody from New York or even anywhere else has a question, that we get back to them, that we participate in that conversation. So there were a couple things, notable things that happened this year. Number one, Engage is going away. If you haven't seen that, they're switching to a new platform called Access. If you have any documents on Engage, I would encourage you to save them locally, especially your organization. New York didn't have a whole lot, but they are not going to be retaining any of the information there. And some of the discussion that I've seen on the Engage site is, you know, people are really sad to lose the body of knowledge. So, you know, if there's something in particular that you reference quite often, I would definitely go and grab that while you can. I'm not exactly sure when the switch is going to take over officially, but we do have the central office is going to send out that information to share with everyone, just to make sure everybody's aware. We're putting out our news and notes. And I heard Darlene talking about, you know, getting into perspectives, and that's wonderful. We love the participation from the locals. So if you have somebody you want to spotlight, we really would like to focus on students and get engaged with the students. And, you know, if there's anything you want to send in, go ahead and do that. And I put the email here for the central office. So if you email the NYHIMA@caphill.com, that will get to our, what's the title? Forget the title now. Our central office coordinator. So moving on to membership, you're going to see that we have under the total active. So if you look, the last column there is December. If you look under total active, we have 6,158. So that number looks kind of inflated. So one of the things that we've been working hard to do is to clean up the database and get rid of any duplication, make sure that our numbers are, you know, accurate. So that's an ongoing effort, and that was targeted, I think they started it in November, and it should be cleaned up pretty soon. So our next membership report will be more accurate numbers. So you can see that we have, you know, some lapses. We have seen some of the numbers decline, and we've also seen some of the numbers go up. But we're trying to strategize about how we can increase membership, and, you know, especially in light of the current environment. I know I'm running out of time, so just a few things from advocacy. We did send out the naming policy pledge, which came down from AHIMA. And if you are not familiar with that, you can go out to AHIMA's website. And then also too, we had some advocacy meetings. We participated in the Patient ID Day. And then we've been working with some of the legislation that's been coming through. And you can actually vote online. And I wanted to show you all, we're going to be sending this out. It's actually pretty cool. It's all online now, and it's giving you the legislation, a summary. You can determine whether or not you are in favor or not, and you can provide your support. So if you as an organization want to provide your support, or as an individual, you can do this here. And kind of, we're trying to get our voice out there. And I think I'll go ahead. We talked about everything here. And the one thing I wanted to point out that has caused some discussion to happen on Engage is just the change was voted on in the House of Delegates. Our delegates are very active, and they did vote to remove the term management from health information management in the bylaws. What does that mean for us? Why did they do that? What they found was that the scope of duties for somebody who is in the health information profession is not strictly management of documents, management of data. So we wanted to make sure that what NYHIMA wanted to make sure that they did was to make the term that we use to refer to ourselves global, to encompass all of the things that we do. So that was one thing, and you can see here I took a snippet out of an FAQ document from NYHIMA as to why they did this, because there was so much pushback that they wanted to explain why they did that. So this is all out on Engage. There were, every amendment to the bylaws did pass this year. So those will be coming soon. So I think we're right at 1 o'clock. So wanted to say thank you to you all. I know volunteering is not easy, but it's very much appreciated. And, you know, some of these lifelong friends, you know, I've had, Lynn, how long have I known you? Forever, you know, so it's really nice to have those long-term relationships from a professional organization such as this. So thank you from the board, and we hope to see you in Terrytown, either virtually or in person. So appreciate your time today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Meg, for coming and presenting. Meg, can we make sure we have a copy of
Absolutely.
your slides so we can load them
You bet.
on our website too? We recorded this
Yes,
meeting.
you bet.
So if anybody wants to
Okay.
rehear it or didn't get a chance to, they'll have that option. Before we go,
Okay.
anybody who's still on, do you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about or ask about? All right. I don't see anything in the chats. Okay. Well, thank you all for attending. This was good for us to get together. I wish we we always wish we have more time to network and talk, but Zoom doesn't make that, and it's lunchtime. We know you all have to get back to work. So if you have questions or need to discuss anything, please send us an email through the RRHIMA one Gmail account there, or you can call us. I know our phone numbers are posted on the NYHIMA website. They're not, there's a link to it. But anyway, but we try real hard to monitor the email account multiple times a day. So hopefully people aren't getting left behind out there. And thank you. Thank you for voting. Thank you for attending, and thank you for being members. And please get your friends to join too. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.